it is important to not sulk. Now you could call me a monk who did not sell her Ferrari. Even when you go in an airplane, when they're giving that, emergency talk, they say when there will be an oxygen mask, you put on yourself first and on your child later.
Just say, I get to do this,
Yeah.
right? I get to go to work. I get to see my
I
friends.
love it. How many
much
zeros?
is it changing your life?
Yeah, no. So how many zeros can you add? If you're a millionaire or a billionaire, you should not judge a book by its cover. But the reality is that people do judge a book by its cover.
Hello and welcome back to the podcast. If you're new here, my name is Sheen. I'm your host. And today we're joined by the wonderful Dr. Sana Sajan. Sana is a doctor, philanthropist, entrepreneur, artist, and she's the director at the Danube Group. And she's here today to share with us everything that she has learned through her wonderful journey. Hello, Sana. Welcome.
Thank you so much for having me here, Sheen.
Thank you. How are you doing?
I'm so excited to be here because, it's just every day you don't meet somebody like you. You've got literally the sheen in you. You got that shine and sparkle. So I'm really happy to exchange this energy.
That's so sweet. Honestly, when I was doing my homework for this podcast and I was watching all of your reels, I was like, your energy is contagious. It's very rare to come across people who are bubbly and happy all the time. And I'm really happy that you're actually like this in person as well. So very excited for this conversation. So tell us a little bit about your journey.
Oh, well, where do we start?
It started with medicine, right? Should we go there?
So why did I want to be a doctor?
Yes.
Somehow, because my family, we have a family of 36 doctors at the moment, so...
I like how you said at the moment. Like there's more to come.
Because this is ongoing, right? So when you have so many healers in your family and coming from the Indian diaspora, you choose things which put you at a certain level, and becoming a doctor is always something which is respected throughout, and I believe that being a healer in any form, it's amazing. And I chose to be a doctor because I always looked up to my father, who's an amazing doctor. And he was always a fun person, very handsome, and still he was a doctor, not a boring person. So I thought, okay, I can be a doctor like him. Mm-hmm. And I chose to be a doctor. That's why I chose the profession. Mm-hmm. But then, while I was becoming a doctor, I also experienced that there is so much need in the society of, expensive treatments which can be somehow delivered to the patients in some other way possible, to make it available to them. So that pain was always there. Mm-hmm. I mean, it could be going back to my upbringing and also being a sensitive person. I always saw that pain in the society. Even while I was in my college, I used to use my scholarship to, help some poor patients and just get their treatments done and pay for their labs and stuff. So it was always something which was there in my personality. And then I came back to Dubai with my family, and here it looked very glitzy and glams, mm-hmm. which is usually the facade which people see, which is there. Dubai is amazing. It's literally a realistic utopia. That's how I put to Dubai. But the thing is that when you look for, you will still find places where there are needs and you can fulfill them. So that's what I looked for. And I started working with the thalassemia patients in the thalassemia center here in the hospital, where I felt that it is not just that you need to help patients monetarily, you need to give them some time and maybe create some, art events or do some classes with them, or for that matter, just spread, some information about the awareness of the situation, what people go through when they're in thalassemia. And then through that journey, I got associated with the Genetic Disease Association here, which is led by Dr. Mariam Matar. And she's been working very hard to, clear out thalassemia, which is a genetic disease. And I, along with her, somehow kept working in creating the awareness. So that was one of the things that I was working on. While all of this was going on, I got married. And there is a very important division in Danube called Danube Welfare Center. Mm-hmm. So when our chairman, Dad, he saw that I'm into helping people, he said, Sana, why don't you also join Danube Welfare Center? And that's where I was on the cruise and getting my makeup done. And back, I had already set up in Dubai a team which were doing registrations for blue-collar workers for studies.
Okay.
Yeah, so And then that's how the journey with welfare centers started. Because this was one of the dreams of our chairman, Rizwan Sajan, to help blue collared workers. So, and that's the journey of them getting the education and helping them. And there are so many other things, while, there is no end to helping people, because it could be monetarily, it could be education, it could be just giving them a good vibe, So, and that's how life is. And I've been through, those stages, and I love to give that energy to people, the good energy. And that's my journey.
Oh, wow. That's beautiful. And what I love is how many times you've pivoted a little bit. You're keeping to what you're doing, but you're also like venturing into new aspects of work. And how do you approach this? Because you went from obviously medical field to business field, and obviously now with Danube, you do a lot of real estate as well. So how do you approach any big pivots in your career?
Okay, so let me start like this, that we as women, we are a form of God's light on earth. And this was one of my recent posts on Instagram as well, that, as women, when we are born as Lakshmi into the family. We bring that good energy into the family, and then we give all that amazing vibrancy into our family. You will see any house who's got a daughter, they have that, beautiful colors in their home. And any father would vouch for what I'm saying over here. And coming from the Indian diaspora, in India, there are something called a Devi. And for the certain audience who don't know what it is, a Devi is the idol of a goddess which has 10 hands. And each hand holds a different tool in her hand. One could be, for me, for example, it could be a pen, it could be a book, it could be a music instrument, it could be a healing instrument like a stethoscope, or it could be, love and kisses for my family. So we as women are born as goddesses. And each woman is a goddess, and we are all capable of doing a lot of things. So how I would say that I have always wanted to do a lot of things in life. And that thought of being larger than life, I have always kept it alive. What is larger than life? Our limitations, our thoughts are what limit us, right? So when you open that cage, you become larger than life. So if I want to do something, I always keep that bucket list. And I repeat it wherever I go, that I encourage people to keep that bucket list. If you don't want to put a timeline to it, don't put a timeline to it, but keep it. There will come a day where you will accomplish it. And that's what I've done. After finishing my med school, I also did an MBA in healthcare services, where we also studied business. So that's why the healthcare division in Danube was started. And, American Aesthetics is that, where I'm managing right now, which is, under the umbrella of plastic surgery, everything comes as, aesthetic transformation over there. I call it also as a happiness center, because, you come in and get yourself fixed and you feel good, you look good, So that's what I have been. Why should we put a limitation of our career brand onto our expertise or to anything that we choose to in life? I say we are limitless.
I agree. But I love that. So you see, the way you talk about this, it makes me feel so empowered. But it's just how I get it, right? It's realistically, we all know what we want to do. And at some point and I don't remember who said it. I think it's Mark Twain, right? Who said it. There are two most important days of your life. The first one is when you're born. And the second one is when you figure out why you were born. And clearly you figured out what your mission is on this planet, right? But then now walk us through what a day-to-day with Sana looks like. I'm sure no 2 days are the same, right? But what does a traditional day looks like?
So I want to add to something that you said about Mark Twain. There is also something that I came across, and it has repeatedly been coming across in front of me, that we all live two lives. One is the life that was given to us. The second life, that when we realize that that is the only life that we have, and we live it to the fullest.
Wow.
So yeah, you gotta keep your ambitions, and that's what drives me. My brother was asking me the other day that, Sana, why do you need to do so many things? What is it that comes in your heart when you wake up in the morning? So I will tell you. So when I sleep in the night, I look at my calendar the next day. This helps me design my day for the next day, because I cannot just wake up and not have anything to do. This doesn't mean that I have a lot of clutter in my head. No. Organization is definitely something that helps you optimize your time and resources. So for me, time management is definitely something which I would put as my first and foremost, strength. And that also helps in not only multitasking, but also getting the best out of your people. And that's where I come to my second strength, which is my team and my people, right? So when you have the right team, which doesn't just dawn upon, you have to create that team. It takes time to have that team with you where you have a sync, where you have similar thoughts, and also you empower them. So be it from my home, if it is my staff or my nannies, or my driver or my house manager, it is very important to have that sync of thoughts, communication, and understanding between the team, and also to share a good energy.
Yeah.
So you give some, you get some, So that's one thing from the home. And coming to work, again, it's the same story that the team needs to feel that ownership, So, and how does that come? It comes from top to bottom and then from bottom to up. So that's what it goes when time management and team is important for me. And that's what helps me. So if I slept yesterday, I saw my calendar for today, what I need to do. And then I wake up early morning. I go to my sons because they sleep in the other room, the boys. I wake them up. They go to their shower to get ready for the school. Then I go to my daughter. I wake her up, get her to get into the shower, and then come back. Meanwhile, I'm coming back, Adil is up. Yeah, so all of them are up, and I see that daddy's already in the swimming pool. Mom's almost going to wake up. So all our family lives together, right? So, and then we all have breakfast together and everyone runs away to their work, So Adil has to go to early morning gym and then he has his own hectic day. We say hello, hi, goodbye, and then happy good day. And then I rush to my gym. Then from gym, I run to my work. And then by the time it's 5:30 is when my clock in my head starts ticking that, okay, now is the time when my children need me because I need to put them to bed early too. So I rush home and then, spend some quality time with them, swimming or playing or just, enjoying. And by the time it's 8 o'clock, they're tucked in bed.
Oh, wow.
And that's the time when we party.
Yes.
If there are any occasions, usually the formal events and just friend visits, etc., that's also post 8.
Yes.
So, it's just like managing the time and people, and you get 7 days a week and 24 hours a day. So how the best you can get out of it, that's how it is.
Wow, I love that. And I think you were telling me this earlier as well, that as a woman, you wear many hats, but when you're wearing one hat, you're fully focused in that hat, right? And I think I love how your days basically split in you being kind of like the daughter-in-law and then the woman at work and then the mom and then you're being the fun Sana in the evening.
Yeah, and then you gotta, I believe that it is important to not sulk.
Of course.
A lot of times I come across people who are like, oh my God, another party.
Yeah.
No, it's a blessing to have a party. You're blessed to have friends who are wanting you to join them and have fun with you, Or for that matter, oh my God, I have to go to work again. No, it's a blessing to be busy. We're so blessed that we have work, we have people to meet, we have positive energy, everything is flowing in the right direction. So it's very important to get the right energy out of your schedule, and that also cascades down into all your teammates as well. So
I
yeah,
agree.
and we wear different hats. I think a lot of times I laugh at Adil that which one are you going to meet today?
Which Sana is coming
Which
today?
Sana is meeting you today? So yeah, you wear different hats, and when you are living in the moment, life is also about that balance. So I have to also struggle sometimes in the sense that I am living in the moment, but at the same time, my next schedule is also there. So we are capable of doing a lot of things, and that's where we shuffle between the hats. And I forget which person I am after this because I have to switch my roles.
Yes.
So if I'm painting, I'm an artist and I'm in that zone. It's a trance. And that's how I will be able to deliver fully in that role, So yeah, and then you switch, the painting's done. Okay, now the next step. What are you going to do? Okay, food time, you're hungry. The more I say that if you're eating well, you're drinking your water well, you're taking the right nutritions, and if you're working out, that also takes away 80% of your issues in life.
Yes.
So I propagate, I say it out loud, and I repeat it that it is very important for everybody, and especially for women, to take care of themselves because you are the backbone of the family.
Exactly. I agree. And I love what you talked about, the mindset being so important into everything, because that's how you start your day, and it impacts the rest of your day, however you approach everything. And I heard this somewhere where it says, instead of saying, oh my God, I have to go to work, I have to do this, just say, I get to do this, right?
Yeah.
I get to go to work. I get to see my
I love
friends.
it.
Yeah. And it's a change of
Or I love
just
it.
reframing of how
Yes.
you approach everything, instead of seeing it as I'm forced to do this. It's more that, oh, it's a new opportunity for me.
Exactly. Like gym. Some people, they, including a lot of my family members, they're like, oh, this is such a punishment.
Yes.
No, why? You're
Yeah.
blessed. You're able to take some time out and come to the gym, and you have a trainer and you're able to work out.
You're able-bodied to do
It's
this.
amazing. You should be thankful to God. And once you change that perspective, when you start loving going to the gym, that's when a lot of things
easier.
change. Because it's a
Yeah.
chain of thoughts, right? It's not just easier, you yield better. Because everything is in the mind, and we are very capable of taking control of mind, and the sooner you do that, the better it is, because that's when you can really become larger than life.
Hey, I love that. Now, I want to go back to what you were talking about, how your team is one of your strengths, right? And I think this is one thing, especially as a woman leader, it becomes very important how you portray yourself as a leader, because there is this very fine balance between being too empathetic as a woman to your team, and also coming across as being too harsh because you don't want to come across as a woman. So how do you strike this balance?
So this is a fun thing. I am also learning from the sharks I live with, which is Rizwan Sajan and Adil Sajan, and they are amazing leaders. They have a lot of things which are similar in them, and they have a lot of things which, as leaders, they are very different leaders as well at the same time. So some things overlap, and some things they bring very unique. So, and for me, I bring my own, of course, essence as a person who is, as a team leader. But also I learn from them, because they're definitely amazing, and they've proven, or over time with their track records. So it's a little bit of a tug of war. You do a stick and carrot. Different leaders, different styles. My leadership style is more empathetic, as you say, but sometimes it gets like, okay, now the delivery, you have to really, put things into points. So as you, with time and experience, it gets a little bit more easier to deliver what you want. So with our team, we have regular team meetings. In that, it is important to know what are the challenges. First, we say that these are our targets, okay?
Yes.
And we put realistic targets, which are time bound. Of course, in sales, you got to put time bound targets. And then you discuss with the team, do you think it's achievable? You discuss with them, and then say, what is it that you need as a tool to achieve those? Okay. While you take up the tools, ask them what will be the challenges you might face. And then we find out solutions,
Together.
sometimes on the spot or sometimes on the go. Because some things can be a strategy, but to achieve that point A to point B, you need certain tactics, and tactics can change, So a lot of times we keep certain strategies, the main thing, but of course, some things, if you need to modulate, we change. And if somebody is slacking, you need to see if it is a personal problem or if it is a consistent issue and
Yes.
they're not delivering out of being lazy. And sometimes what happens, a chain is as strong as the weakest link.
Of course.
Okay, so you need to really constantly diagnose what is the issue happening. And if it is going to be a chronic issue, then you really need to strike it, And you can give a few chances. Normally, my number is 3 for the
Okay,
chances.
good.
And you give a few chances, you help the person to work it out. But if it doesn't work, then it doesn't work, okay? So you have to keep shuffling between, I don't like to do the hire and fire, so I give a lot of chances. But the recent practice in business, they keep saying that the sooner you fire, the better it is.
Yeah.
So a lot of business practices and leaders are doing that as well, because there is no time to lose. For me, I am a little bit more warm, and I happen to give more chances to people because I am always, considerate about what's going on behind this
course.
issue, So that's what my approach is. And after all of this, besides the sales, it is very important, in all of Danube and including my verticals as well, that we make sure that customer service is a full package. Because one customer, a happy customer, will bring in 2 or 3 more happy customers, or probably even if it doesn't, at least he will come back, While a sad or a unhappy customer can damage that same image, and a
course.
brand is built with a lot of work over a period of time, if your number of negative comments out of 1,000, the percentage is smaller, let's say 15, you need to address those, but at least that number should not go higher than a
Yeah.
certain percentage. So you need to address the issues regularly. It is very important to be there hands-on. At the same time, it's just a really good mix of things that you have to be, actively doing. So, yeah.
Wow, I love that. Thank you for taking us on that little tour of your leadership and how you work with the team. And now, of course, you're a mom as well. Do you think that plays a role in how you approach business and approach your team now?
For sure. One of the things that I say that the men and a lot of women who've not yet come to that stage, it's important for me to share it with them that becoming a mother really opens up your heart to understanding people more. And especially now that I have more than one child, it's a community that I have in the house, and each one of them is different. They have their own personalities, they have their own choices, and they have their own ways and approach to different things. So I knew it theoretically. I was trying to practice it in my life earlier as well. But now that it is there in my house, it just comes more naturally to me to understand people more and, what kind of approach should be cut out to get the best out of this person. Because in a team is as good as its captain, right? So if the captain is able to nurture the talent in the team and get the best out of that person, you all perform well. So yes, it has definitely helped me.
Yeah.
And it also helps me understand the women who are having a family who are a part of my team.
Yes.
So we give them a little bit of leverage on that and we understand them better and we help them more. So even though we always have those rules to help women who are pregnant or who are nursing or who have kids. But becoming a mother, it always helps.
Yeah.
I mean, it has helped me definitely.
Amazing. So now I want to switch gear a little bit because you are a little bit unique as a guest here. And I think most people who are watching or listening will think of you as someone who has made it, who is doing well in life. So if we were to look at life through your lenses as someone who's on the other side, what is your relationship with money?
Okay. So as a person, I'm very Sufi.
Okay.
And let me explain what a Sufi is. I would be a hermit otherwise if I was not here. And there was a time when I really chose to really almost at the verge of shaving my head and becoming a monk.
Oh, wow.
So now you could call me a monk who did not sell her Ferrari.
I love that.
So yeah, and it's funny that just yesterday I was having this conversation with my husband that he asked me that, Sana, would you become a priest or a monk? And I'm like, Adil, when I met you, I was almost at the verge of shaving my head and going to the Himalayas, so right there. But it is a bigger challenge to stay in this world and strike a balance in these worldly opportunities and excel over here while creating that peace in your heart. And that is a bigger achievement. And I would say that you can't achieve excellence in anything because the end goal is God and excellence is only God. But yes, for sure, I am always actively working on that peace, which is most important. And take on money. In today's day and age, people salute money. They respect money. They would put a red carpet for money. And we've seen it. It happens that there is a fun story about one saint in olden days in Persia that when he was really respected by the king at that time, and the king sent some robes and said that I would like to invite you and I would like to host a big feast in your honor. Okay? And he said he sent his acceptance and he said he will be there. Then he was a big saint, right? So he was just in his tattered clothes and he went, and when he was at the doors of the big palace, the people at the soldiers there, they asked him to stop. And he said, this is a big feast for a very big guest of the king. What are you doing here? He said, this is for me. The soldier laughed at him.
Right.
And then the saint went back and he wore his golden robes. And then he came and he was really welcomed. And then when he was sitting with the king on the feast table, he started putting food into his robes and the pockets and the curry into his pocket. And the king and everybody, the big people, they were really like, what are you doing?
What is he doing?
We would really like to know what you're doing, with all the respect to him. He said, it was not me who was invited, it was my robes.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So he's feeding the coat.
And that was a big message, and it was taken to the people that, you should not judge a book by its cover. But the reality is that people do judge a book by its cover. So yes, money, now that I am, I would say, a little wiser, that it is important, but it should not be something that you put forward as a priority at the expense of your health and your family's health. It could be mental health, it could be physical health, but it is very important to earn money the right way, to be ambitious. And money, not only money, there are a lot of things that you can earn. You can earn respect, you can earn your career, you can earn, there are so many things that you earn with time. But money, I say that it is not something that you should kill for. Yes, you should have the fire in you, you should have the ambition in you, and keep dreaming, keep working towards it, but it should not be at the expense of your mental health.
Yeah. And with money as well, you always reach a point where now it's just extra money,
Yeah,
right?
how
much
many
is it
zeros?
changing your life?
Yeah, no. So how many zeros can you add? Let's
Yes.
say if you're a millionaire or a billionaire, there comes a point where you need to have certain points in life where you want to help people, you want to help your family, you want to work on mental health of yourself, your family, your friends, and then your community gets bigger. So when if you see anybody who has made it in life, I always look up to my father-in-law and my husband, but when I look at them, I see them so closely. They did not just land on top of the mountain. They have worked their way up. And that work is not just hard work in terms of going to the office and getting the work done. There is a lot that comes, like taking care of your friends. As a leader, I say this story a lot of times that Rizwan Sajan, we live together, okay? When he wakes up in the morning, he goes to his swimming, he does his yoga, he meets his family, which is us and his mother, who we live together. Then he goes for his work. He comes late at night, comes back, has the dinner, or sometimes skips the dinner and goes to meet his friends who are hosting a birthday or a wedding or anything. So he makes sure that his friends also get their due respect and time. And then he comes back late in the night and then wakes up early in the morning, and then the grind is there. So it's like the sun, so the sun is constantly working. If we can't see also, that sun is working.
Right.
So as an individual as well, I always say that even if you're sleeping for something good the next day. You're sleeping to revive yourself, So if you put that energy in you, that you want to be productive in your sleep, you want your body to recover, you want your energy to recover, the next day you will be better and you will perform better. And that's the example of Rizwan Sajan, that and I'm following those footsteps as well. And I have that energy too, that if I'm sleeping, I know that I want to rest now so that my cells recover, my energy recovers, and tomorrow is a productive day again, and I want to be the best of myself. So, and that's these energies together, creating your team, caring for your family, your friends, all together, this all counts as your riches. So, yeah.
Wow. That's incredible. You mentioned your family quite a lot, which I love, by the way. But what would you say is the main learning for you? Let's say, obviously, personally, I'm sure there are many, many, many. But professionally, when you joined this big family business, what was the main learning for you?
Main learning, there are two things really, really important for life, you wouldn't call it success or what? I say your relationships and your communication. In the family that I live in the leadership that I see, and what I follow, not only in my family, but as, leaders of Dubai, it is so important to have the right way of communication and the right time of communication as well. It is important to act in the right time. If it is urgent, you do it now. There, if you want to make a phone call, or if you want to reply to a WhatsApp or an email, you need to give the right time. If it is emergency, you need to call, So to communicate, it is the strength of a person, and to communicate the right way to the right person in the right time. And of course, this is also related to relationships and maintaining your relationships, that every relationship, you need to give its respect and time to it.
Yeah, wow.
It could be a relationship with your client, it could be with your family, it could be with your friends, it could be with, your team, anybody, and at any level of the hierarchy. Relationship and communication, that's the key.
I love that. Well, now that we're talking about relationship, this just popped up into my mind. We're going to talk about relationship with yourself now for a minute. If I were to ask you on a happiness scale from 0 to 10, where's Sana today?
Oh, I'm always 10 and above.
Ooh, love that. How?
No,
Tell
but
us.
I have to say this. There are days.
Yes.
It could be related to my hormones or it could be related to certain challenges in life. I try to be 10 and above, but it should not go to toxic positivity.
Of course not.
You know, and a lot of times when we post, oh, this and that on positive stuff on Instagram, people don't see that there are challenges that we meet
Yes.
as well. And every day we find something or the other as a small or big challenge, you know. It could be just an order waiting to be received.
Yes.
And you get impatient.
Yes.
You know, so self-focus is, as a girl, I say it is really, really important because instinctively we are givers. And we find more happiness in giving. And one of my TED Talks, I also said that charity and loving someone, these are the two most selfish things that we do.
Ooh, let's talk about that.
Yeah, we will come to that. But happiness and self-focus is so important because as women, we are the backbones of our family, you know? And if we don't take care of ourselves, who will take care of the others? Even when you go in an airplane, when they're giving that, you know, emergency talk, they say when there will be an oxygen mask, you put on yourself first and on
Help
your
others.
child later.
Yes.
Even in the video, they show that the child also should come later because if you don't have the oxygen, you will not be able to help the other one also. So there are two people being damaged there. So if, as a woman of the house, as the girl, you know, you need to really, really take care of yourself. And taking care is, I start with food. Food, water, and sleep. I'm not saying you need to sleep 10 hours a day. I'm not even saying if you are not able to sleep 8 hours a day, do 6 hours, but sleep at the right time, at the same time every day so that your circadian rhythm comes into place and wake up at the same time. That's what is going to set your hormones in place because we are evolved beings, you know, and it's not even a joke when we are a 2.0 version.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we are not taking care of ourselves. We are such blessed beings. We need to take care of ourselves. And once this is in place, you need to then start working on, let's say, yoga or Pilates or gym. I say even half an hour of any workout, even if it is brisk walking, you know, if you do that another, you know, you've done another box of your thing. When you're healthy, you perform better at work. When you perform better at work, you get better money, you get better confidence, you get, you know, everything just starts coming full circle. And you come back home happier, you know, so everything starts with your health. Sometimes people just start buying makeup and just covering things up. I like a little bit of makeup. It's nice, you know, but it should not be something as a cover up.
Yes.
You know, you need to be glowing from inside, from your soul. Okay, when you're healthy, mentally and physically, the glow comes out, the confidence comes out, and you're able to help other people as well. So happiness and self-care is really, really important. I put it as now my top priority.
I love that. But when you said sometimes it goes a little bit down, lower than 10, but what is your approach in general with challenges in life? Whenever there's a challenging part, whether it's personal or professional, how do you deal with it?
So challenges come, different scales, small, big, large, extra large, or extra small.
Yes.
But you need to see what is the problem. So in medicine, they teach you a disease diagnosed well is half solved. You know, so your prognosis is half already fixed when you've diagnosed the disease properly. So if you know what the problem is, so when I face a problem, my first exercise mentally, and now it's a practice, so what is it? That I see what is exactly the problem and can I define it? Can I classify it? You know, and if I need to delegate it to someone, what is it that is needed to do right now? Sometimes people say, oh, it's easier said than done. So one of the things one time I faced was my dad. He had an issue, a health issue. In the night, 3 o'clock, my mom called me and she said, we've called an ambulance. I jumped. While I was on the phone, I changed my clothes. And in the night, 3 o'clock, what do you do? Adil was not at home, so I don't know what to do. Okay. While I was getting out of the car, I called one of my male servant, who I know is a responsible person. I said, I'm going to my mom's house. If there is anything, I will call you. So please keep your phone on. And one of the nannies, I told the same thing because I need, at least if one will fail, the second one.
Yeah.
Then I called my secretary. I know she will respond. I said, this is the emergency. If needed, I'll call you.
Yes.
She said, okay. On the way, because there was no other male person, I called one of my relatives because I know he would respond. You know, you need to have your head on your shoulder,
Yeah,
even
you
in
need to be able
emergencies.
to think, right?
Because I'm speeding, I need to keep my cameras also, and I should not be jumping a radar
Yes.
and, you know, stuff like that. In time, I was there. The ambulance had reached. I had reached. Luckily, nothing was such a big damage, but he was taken to the hospital and
Yes.
everything. But I was really proud of myself that I had my head on shoulders and I was not bawling on the way or something
You
like
were
that.
cool, yeah.
So that was the thing that proved to myself that my head will be on my shoulders in any emergency. So it is so important in any kind of issue that you face that you need to know what is the problem and what are the steps you need to do in that moment to solve it. And then you see later on what you can do. And furthermore, you know, so that, okay, my dad needs to take care of himself and the
Yeah.
diet and gym and this and that, what all. But you need to know in that moment what you need to do and what are the following steps. I try to do that.
I like that. So just like keeping your emotions under control while you're dealing with the problem.
Yes.
And I think that's the challenge that most people struggle with, including me, right? Whenever something goes wrong, the emotions start to come out.
It's a practice.
Yeah.
Everything in our body is a muscle, including our emotions.
Yes.
And as much as, like, just like gym, you cannot go and lift 25 kgs of a dumbbell on the first day. At least not most of the people, right? So you build up your strength, you build up your activity, and your body starts getting acquainted to it and start practicing, and your muscles start getting that memory, and you strengthen yourself. The same way, your mind, you need to practice things in every smaller things. You know, it's like if you're in a traffic jam and somebody's cutting you, you should not be, you know, swearing at that person. It's okay. He's not gonna really fly away. It's
No.
okay. Maybe he's facing some issues personally.
Exactly.
Let him take over. How much are you gonna, you know,
How much
go
delay
across?
are you getting? Yeah.
Having said that, it is so important to draw a fine line that you are understanding, but you should not be treated as a
Yes.
doormat.
Yes.
Yeah. So when there are a lot of times that people start treating you as a doormat, taking you as for it granted. Because when we say these things that, oh, you should understand the other, women take it to another extreme.
Yes.
Coming back and striking a balance, no, you don't need to go into any extreme. Just stay in moderation. You need to respect other people while other people also respect you.
Of course.
Yeah, so it's all about practice.
Okay, so there are two things that I want to talk to you about, but before I forget, you mentioned that your TED Talk addressed charity being one of the selfish things. Please tell us more about that.
Oh, I love this. Okay, when you give, let's say, 10 dirhams to somebody, that, okay, you go have tea.
Yes.
That person will smile at you. But honestly, search in your heart that when you're giving charity to somebody, okay, be it 10 dirhams, be it 20 dirhams or 20,000 dirhams, you are giving it because you feel nice
Of course.
at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Okay, so I feel that I'm doing a very selfish deed, but it is for good. And I encourage people to be selfish in that way. Because you are creating a happiness quotient there. You are making the other person happy, you're making yourself happy, and this is how you're going to multiply the happiness and you raise the happiness quotient in your family, in your surroundings, in your community, in your city. And I say that in Dubai, it's similar, that, you know, things start getting easier. If you see people, when they come to Dubai, they get the Dubai vibe and they start getting more chill, more happy, more helping, more respectful. So that's what, when you're doing something, you're not doing it for the other person, you're doing it for yourself. And I encourage people to be selfish like that.
That's a beautiful way of being selfish. You know, I don't know, have you watched Friends?
Yeah.
Because Joey also says something similar where he's like, even when it's a birthday, when you're buying present, you're celebrating someone else, you do it because you feel good,
Yeah.
because you've done something for
So
someone else.
true.
But it is a beautiful thing at the end of the day, so it doesn't
is.
matter that it is selfish. But one thing, going back to the conversation we were having, I would love for you to share the bison story to my audience as well, please, if you can tell us that.
Yeah, it is one of my favorite stories. And a bison or a bull, that's how people understand it, right? So the story of a bison or a bull. So when there is a snowstorm, a bison goes head up into those snowstorms. Why? Because they instinctively know that when they face the storm, they will get out of it faster. The more you run away from it, the more it will follow you. So I definitely believe in facing your challenges in life and getting done with them.
Yeah, the shortest way is through, basically. I love that. Okay, final part of our chat today. So I would say that we obviously are very happy to have you here, part of the podcast, but if you had to celebrate a woman in your life, who would it be?
Oh, there are so many
I'm
women I
sure.
celebrate.
Yeah.
I celebrate every woman in my life. It is because everyone brings their own lesson to me and they teach me something or the other in their own way. But if I have to pick one right now, I would celebrate one of my nannies. She's really, really amazing. I love the way she takes care of my child as her own. And, she just has said it so many times that I don't have one child. I have 3 kids. And, she counts my kids as her own. But, she doesn't say it to make me feel better. I have seen her as not just a staff member, but now as my family member. How she takes care of, she loves me, she loves my kids, and how she's a team player. And she's not even, studied anything in management, but she's able to manage things. And she's living far away from her family and she's managing over there her family as well. I really salute her and I really love her. So I would right now celebrate her.
Oh, I hope this message gets to her because that's beautiful.
Yeah.
And for you, we have a little bouquet to say a huge thank you. And there's a card in it from the previous guest that wrote you a little message.
Oh, wow.
And now
Thank
you get to write the
you.
message for the next guest.
Thank you so much. I love this. This is such a beautiful color.
Oh, yeah, it is, isn't it? It is. And these flowers are from Les Fleurs de Jojo. So thank you for sending that to us. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
No, thank you.
You made my day.
No, and now if you have any parting thoughts to share with us, anything you want to share before we wrap up?
There are a few things, a
Please.
few points I would say
Go
for
for it.
everyone, be it man or a woman. It is very important to keep dreaming. And it is very, very important to keep your bucket list. I say it on repeat. You do not have to keep it time bound, but keep your bucket list alive. So that's how you achieve more and you become larger than life.
Oh, wow. And what's the next thing on your bucket list?
Oh, more than individual achievements now, I feel like empowering other people. And that's what's next on my bucket list, that I want to encourage people to dream and help them achieve their dreams. And one of the things that I have been working on is getting a school to educate children who cannot afford it. And it's work in progress. It's been a while now. It's been a year that we're working on it. I hope that it comes to a reality. That's one of my dreams that I think that's top right now.
Amazing. Well, based on everything we've heard, I know you're going to make it happen.
I hope so. Fingers crossed.
Of course. And we're excited to see what else you do, Sana. But thank you so much for being here today. And it was a lovely conversation.
Thank you so much. It was fantastic being here.
Thank you.